Welcome back, focused learners. I'm so excited to have you here for another explainer. Because today, we're diving into something that is literally reshaping how we experience online retail. I'm talking about an absolute game changer in the marketing world. We're going to unpack how global athletic powerhouse Puma is partnering up with Google's generative AI to completely transform your online shopping experience. You know, this isn't just about cool tech. It's a fundamental shift in how brands visually communicate with us, the buyers.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with the high cost of photos, then check out Puma's generative AI solution, explore their local imagery strategy, dive into the commercial added value, and finally, look at the future of frictionless shopping. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The high cost of photos, or basically, the old e-commerce way. To really appreciate the new tech, we kind of have to look at the massive expense of the old marketing reality. Historically, if a brand like Puma wanted to show, say, a trail-running shoe in an actual forest, and then maybe on a rocky cliff, and then on a snowy path, well, they had to physically pack up those shoes, hire a photographer, fly an entire crew out to those specific locations, wait for the perfect lighting, and shoot multiple iterations with different backdrops. The logistics and costs were just astronomical. But fast forward to the new way. Now, they shoot the product against a simple plain background just once, and then they use generative AI to build out the environment around it. It completely removes that massive physical bottleneck of expensive location shoots.
Which brings us to Section 2, Puma's Gen AI solution. Enter Google's Imagen 2. So the exact tool Puma's using here is Imagen 2. It's a text-to-image diffusion tool that lives right inside Google's Vertex AI suite. And its primary job? Generating photorealistic imagery from simple prompts. Let's strip away the tech jargon for a second. Essentially, Imagen 2 is like having a world-class digital artist on staff that works at lightning speed. You just type in a text description of what you want, we call that a prompt, and the AI instantly paints a completely realistic, high-definition photograph matching those words seamlessly around your product. It understands and blends different types of data, your text instructions and the visual product image, to create something entirely new and honestly, visually stunning.
Let's actually walk through the exact simple process used by Andrea Dujmovic, who is Puma's Senior Manager of Global E-commerce Photography. Step 1, she starts with that basic image we talked about earlier, a trail sneaker just sitting there on a plain, all-white background. Clean? Sure. Inspiring to a shopper? Not really. So, step 2, she types in a prompt. In a recent demo, her prompt was literally a hiking path in mountainous terrain in the woods, a trail-running shoe placed in the middle of the path, sunrise gleaming through the trees. Then, step 3, Imagen immediately gives her several photorealistic options to pick from. Instantly, that isolated shoe is now bathed in the warm, realistic light of a forest sunrise. It's kind of magical, but more importantly for a business like Puma, it's incredibly efficient.
Moving right along to Section 3, Local Imagery Strategy, or Regionalizing at Scale.
Because, look, while saving time and money on a single photo shoot is great, Puma realized they could take this a massive step further by regionalizing the imagery. Think about this prompt adjustment for a second. Dujmovic takes that exact same trail shoe, but this time she adjusts her text prompt to include a view of Mount Fuji behind the shoes. And within seconds, the shoe is transported to a highly recognizable local landmark specifically for the Japanese market. Think about how powerful that is for regional marketing. Instead of some generic forest, a shopper in Japan sees the product in a context that is instantly familiar and culturally resonant to them. The brand can generate imagery of landmarks directly recognizable to consumers in very specific areas, all without anyone ever leaving their desk. Pretty wild, right? So let's break down the direct marketing benefits of this regionalized imagery. We've got 4 key takeaways. First off, it obviously saves time and money. No expensive international flights required. Second, it creates high-quality localized visuals at scale. And at scale is the absolute magic phrase here. They can do this for hundreds of products across dozens of regions all at the same time. Third, it really helps consumers visualize products in the context of their own lives. If you see a shoe in your local environment, you're just way more likely to picture yourself actually wearing it out and about. And fourth, all of this combined radically enhances the overall digital shopping experience. It makes the digital storefront feel less like a massive, faceless global warehouse and much more like a tailored local boutique.
All right, Section 4, Commercial Added Value and Measurable Results. 10%. I really want to emphasize this hard metric because this right here is the definitive, undeniable proof of commercial added value. Andrea Dujmovic noted that Puma India has already seen a 10% increase in their click-through rate simply by utilizing these localized AI visuals. Now, a 10% jump in click-through rate in the e-commerce world, that is absolutely massive.
It means that when shoppers in India see a product placed in a familiar, locally relevant AI-generated environment, they are noticeably more likely to actually click on it and explore the product further, compared to just standard, generic imagery. That is a direct line from an AI text prompt straight to increased customer engagement and, ultimately, revenue. It proves this isn't just a gimmick, it's a highly effective marketing tool.
And finally, Section 5, frictionless shopping, which is the ultimate goal.
You see, Puma's ultimate goal is to better understand their customers and make the shopping journey increasingly frictionless regardless of the channel. Using Imagen 2 is really just one cornerstone of a massive multi-year agreement that Puma actually signed with Google Cloud. Pancho Ortizar, the director of global e-commerce engineering at Puma, sees this AI imagery working hand-in-hand with Google's other powerful tools. They aren't just changing the photos, you guys. They're upgrading their entire data processing system and integrating Google's AI-powered search, recommendation algorithms, and deep personalization tools. The whole idea is that the entire digital infrastructure is getting an AI upgrade, all geared toward removing any friction between you seeing a product you like and effortlessly making a purchase.
So, the crucial point here, straight from Puma's CEO Arne Freund, is that this technology ultimately serves to put the consumer first. Let's read this quote together. Google Cloud's generative AI has allowed us to create an immersive experience that is tailored to each consumer, and we are already seeing the benefits. What Freund is highlighting here is the ambition to be as personal as possible in every single interaction. It's a massive shift from old-school mass marketing to hyper-personalized experiences. When you combine AI-generated local imagery with AI-driven product recommendations, the digital storefront actually adapts to you. It's tailored, it's immersive, and, as we saw with the data, it's already paying off beautifully for the brand.
Which leaves us with this final thought. As AI tools like Imagen 2 become the absolute norm across the retail landscape, how personal is your next digital shopping experience going to be? Will the background of the shoes you're browsing reflect the actual weather outside your window right now? Will the models reflect your exact local demographic? The technology is already here, and as Puma has shown us today, the commercial value is undeniably real. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll catch you on the next one.